Hey y'all, how's it going? This is the Blade Sickness here, and today I'm going to be showing you the amp and subwoofer setup in my 1997 F150. It's got a 4.6 liter V8 and it is a standard, and it is the off-road model. So you can see 4x4 off-road here. It's nothing too special. It's got 204,000 miles on it, give or take. And it's a little bit different in terms of the amp setup and the subwoofer setup from the up to 2003 models. Even though it's the same body style, you have the 60/40 split bench that has these metal posts in it. So you can see there's a metal post down there, and here's one right here. And what that means is it doesn't lift up like a lot of the other models will later on. What you do, excuse my leaning here, you pull up on this tab and the whole thing comes down to lay flat. And that gives you your loading area. So it's a little bit different in that sense. What that means is you can't get a custom box that goes all the way across, because this gets in the way. In addition, you only have about 6 inches of clearance from the deepest part. It's a little bit less where it has that little bump there. So what I decided to do was just lay the subwoofer on the ground. This is a 10-inch Comp S kicker. And I think it's adequate for the type of music that I listen to and my goals in terms of that. And it's being run by a kicker 300 watt RMS, 600 watt peak, which matches the speaker. And it's also being, everything's linked up by the wiring harness that is sold by Kicker. It runs you about $100, but it is pretty thick gauge. It's 8 gauge for most of the, for all the positive and the negative lines. It has a little thin remote wire, but that's really all you need. It doesn't carry much current at all. And yeah, so let's take a look under the hood. I'll show you how I wired it up. Everything coming from here has been wired under this trim, which is very easy to pull up. You can see all you do is pull up on it and lock it back in. The wires run up to here. You can see where the positive cable runs through the firewall. I had an existing hole there from someone who half-assed installed an alarm system in this truck. If you don't want to drill a hole or don't have a hole there, there is a grommet right here that you can install through. However, I didn't like that as much just because it was so near the brake pedals. And also on the other side of the firewall, it's very near the actual engine and the headers. So I didn't want to run it down there where I knew it would be a lot hotter. The door speakers are these Infinities with built-in tweeters. I doubt you can see through there, so we're not even going to try. And everything's being run by this JVC head unit, which is aftermarket. You can see the model number there. It's KD-R740 Bluetooth, which does an ample job. The actual door speakers are run by the amp, which was a factory amp, and you've already seen the amp that is run by this. We'll take you under the hood here. That way you can see how I've wired up the kicker wiring harness. You can see here where it's attached to the positive terminal. These are aftermarket, so it was very easy just to hook it up here. It's ghetto zip tied, the fuse, 60 amp fuse that comes with it. You have to splice it in yourself, but it's not a big deal. I actually ran it through this top thing where the main wiring harness for the vehicle is. You can see where it comes out. That black shielding, it's like a wire mesh that wraps around the cord near the battery, and it disappears once you get a little further down, but it's not a big deal. It runs behind the brake booster, which is well away from the actual engine back there, which is good. Runs through that hole and then back through here. The RCA cables are wired from the head unit, of course. Then on the passenger side under there, it runs a little bit under the carpet, but like I said, the only time you would ever see any of the cords, or if you really looked back here, which I doubt people will do, or if you looked up under the driver's side. So it was a very easy install. I do recommend the Kicker wiring harness, even though it's $100 at Best Buy where I got all this stuff. It just made wiring everything up very easy. You know it's done right in terms of the having the fuse holder and it's just easy. The negative terminal, you can kind of see the metal bolt there. See if it'll focus in there. There you go. That came with the wiring harness there. It's a self-tapping screw. This is the flap where the seatbelt attaches in the 97. I lifted that up, sanded the paint down, and then just screwed her on in with the drill. It works out great because you really want a good ground when you're wiring an amp, because it does actually carry current. The only thing that I'll probably do with this is get a cage for this. Since this is the back of the truck, I'm going to be throwing things back here, tools, people, whatever you got going on. So I just want to make sure I don't puncture that thing. And if I ever do need to lay this part of the seat down, because it won't fold over with the kicker here, all I need to do is remove those two speaker wire terminals. Then you can just pull the sub out by pulling the seat forward. Like I said, nothing is mounted down, just because the amp is kind of caged in back there between that the metal brace, and having just a small amount of room. And the kicker comp is in there pretty good. It's not going to slide either way. Overall though, it's a great setup for this little truck, and I just wanted to put a video out here because I searched YouTube for a while looking for videos of the 1997 setup, because it does have those metal braces, but I couldn't really find anything. So if you're looking for a setup, I hope that this helps you out. This is the Blade Sickness signing off. Thanks.